Many startups and listen is struggle with cash, bro. They get these troublesome periods to make payments, including for URA. And when that happens, and URA is on the door, this URA even goes and knocks and closes the door because they have not paid their taxes. Is there a better way we can be at?
Thank you so much. Good evening. Hassa Sylvia is my name. As I've been introduced, I basically address tax education matters, challenges within our taxpayers and the country at large. I am obliged to be here this evening to see that we can learn together, dissect tax matters, where challenges, definitely challenges, most of the challenges come from the small and medium, maybe I would say that. Because one, when you look at the small ones, they are predominantly operating in cash and they are nomadic in nature. Keeping records at times may be a little tricky on their side, because whenever you talk about keeping records, what comes into their mind is I'm going to hire an expert. But we have a system for the small businesses, those who may not be good at keeping records. For starters, they could give us a presumptive return, which may not require a lot detail, because it basically looks at how much you have been able to source in a given year, so that you can start your compliance with the baby steps. Then as you proceed, you can see how to expand on your record keeping. Because what we normally tell them, you do not need to bring any expert. It is like you have your receipt book, you can write whatever has come in, and whenever you expense, kindly ask for a receipt yourself. That can also work. You can even get accountable for expenses that actually cannot be receipted, yet they're business expenses. And so that at the end of the day, at least you can make a picture, because it's very clear that when one card does not make at least 10 million and above in a given year as gross sales, they won't give me any tax. However, they need to paint the picture in a return. Because this return, apart from me collecting taxes, it's an information document that helps me understand you better. And by the way, if they are filing the ordinary return, it also helps me know where you have expensed and with who, how much, so that I use this return to check the other return, the persons you've dealt with. And maybe even what would like to inform our viewers, our listeners this evening is this year 2025-26, there is an amendment that is meant to make life a little easier for those startups that will have registered from 1st July 2025 and onwards, to at least enjoy a 3 years tax relief. But it has conditions. It's not that all that registers. We are looking at entities whereby they're owned by citizens. And to me, a citizen is one who originates from any of the East African countries where we have a collaboration under that arrangement. I would probably mention Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi, South Sudan. Such countries are the ones I am looking at, and you should have an investment capital that does not exceed 500 million. However, you should have the capacity to file a business information return, not the other presumptive return. So all in all, it pushes you to at least graduate from the presumptive return and get on to the normal business, the information return. So at least I think with that, if those that have registered after 1st July this year, if they at least if they are onto it, they can see how to benefit for the next coming 3 years. Definitely, it hasn't encompassed those who have been around. It is basically looking at those that have been newly registered, whereby if somebody registered in July, I think they're about 2 months old in their business by now. So that means that all I will first need is a provisional return by the 30th of September, if that's an individual, by 30th of September 2025. That is the first return I will be waiting for. Then as we proceed in the year, maybe the final return will come in handy when the year is. Yes, if you're benefiting from a tax relief, that does not mean you shouldn't file. File and draw that picture for me. I need this return for the information it has so that I can be able to do some other work. You still have the obligation to file, but the relief is on the payment.
Let me interrupt a bit. The part where now these new startups have to register. Most of them are actually wondering. They have given them something like a benefit, something that is so good actually for Ugandans over for 3 years, but again, they don't know how to navigate or which information URA needs, how to do about it, how to,
It's the normal registration one has to do. When we are looking at business formalization, it all starts with the Uganda Registration Services Bureau. Kindly register that business name or incorporate that company, whatever it is. At least the certificate of incorporation or the certificate of registration should have a date that is after 1st July 2025. That is the first thing. So as you formalize, then from there you need to register for taxes so that your TIN certificate ideally tells us that it was effective a date after 1st July 2025. Then you start business normally. Then as we proceed, definitely we will be, because it's a new amendment that has come in. That means entities are just registering now. We may not have a lot that has registered, but they're just registering now. Then as we proceed, definitely we'll be guiding them along the way as we get there, because we are basically also waiting for them, because registration depends on one. You can't tell them, come now and register. I register as and when I feel I'm ready to do business. I am ready to do this. I have the capital. I have everything that it takes.